Ronda Rousey's arrival in WWE felt like a game changer, a crossover star bringing the raw intensity of real fighting into the world of scripted wrestling. Fans were captivated, skeptics silenced, and history made as she quickly rose to the top. But just as suddenly as she appeared, Rousey disappeared. No grand farewell, no dramatic exit, just a quiet walk away that left many wondering why. The truth behind her departure runs far deeper than storylines or titles. It's a story about the struggle to balance passion, health, and family against an unforgiving schedule and a wrestling culture that wasn't ready for someone like her. Understanding why she left sheds light on the hidden challenges behind the glitz and glam of WWE. From judo prodigy to MMA superstar, Ronda Rousey's roots in combat sports run deep, shaped by an upbringing that emphasized discipline and resilience. Trained by her mother, Anne Maria DeMars, a world judo champion herself, Rousey was immersed in a culture where toughness wasn't optional but essential. This early foundation built her mental and physical strength, preparing her for the intense challenges of competitive fighting. Transitioning to mixed martial arts, Rousey's rise was swift and dramatic. Her signature move, the armbar submission, became feared worldwide for ending fights almost instantly. Dana White's label of Rousey as a once-in-a-lifetime athlete wasn't mere hype. It reflected how she revolutionized women's MMA by becoming its first mainstream superstar. She shattered stereotypes, proving female fighters could command the same attention and respect as their male counterparts. Her dominance also helped elevate women's divisions in a male-dominated sport, making her a trailblazer beyond just her athletic achievements. This background sets the stage for why her later move to WWE was so significant. She was bringing the aura of a true elite fighter into a world where athleticism and storytelling intersected. The fall and the pivot, MMA's toughest test. No fighter's career is without setbacks, and for Rousey, those setbacks came suddenly and decisively. After years of dominating the octagon, her undefeated streak was broken when Holly Holm landed a crushing head kick, knocking her out and ending her reign. This loss was more than physical. It shattered her invincible image and forced her to reassess her future. Later, Amanda Nunes handed Rousey another defeat, effectively closing the chapter on her UFC career. Instead of fading away, Rousey made a surprising pivot by entering the world of professional wrestling in WWE. This transition wasn't guaranteed to succeed. MMA and pro wrestling are vastly different. MMA is unscripted combat, while WWE combines athleticism with performance and storytelling. Critics doubted whether a real fighter could adapt to this theatrical arena, but Rousey's decision reflected her desire to stay in the spotlight while exploring a new form of entertainment, blending her fighting prowess with the dramatic flair wrestling demanded. This pivot was both a risk and a reinvention. Wrestling debut and rapid rise. Rousey's first WWE match at WrestleMania 34 was a trial by fire. Teaming up with veteran Kurt Angle against WWE legends Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, she faced huge expectations. Despite being new to wrestling's scripted style, her raw athleticism and intensity translated powerfully, surprising fans and critics alike. Her transition from MMA to WWE wasn't flawless, but it was impressive. She showed quick adaptability and undeniable star quality. Within months, she captured the Raw Women's Championship, signaling her rise from outsider to champion. This rapid ascent validated WWE's gamble on her and redefined what a crossover star could achieve in professional wrestling. Her success culminated in headlining WrestleMania 35, marking a historic moment as one of the first women to lead WWE's biggest event. Rousey's journey from novice to top star wasn't just about winning titles. It symbolized breaking barriers for women in a male-dominated industry and demonstrating that a real fighter could become a wrestling icon. The silent exit, why Rousey walked away. Rousey's departure from WWE was abrupt and shrouded in mystery. Unlike typical wrestling exits, which are often dramatized with injury storylines or emotional farewells, she simply vanished from the scene. This silence sparked widespread speculation. Was it backstage politics, creative frustrations, burnout? In a candid 2020 podcast interview, Rousey revealed the real reasons. WWE's punishing schedule, traveling over 200 days a year, left her exhausted and disconnected from her family. raising serious questions about the cost of her career. Despite loving wrestling itself, the constant pressure and fickleness of the fan base wore her down. One month, fans celebrated her. The next, they booed, making her feel undervalued. She even compared wrestling's physical pain to natural childbirth, a powerful analogy illustrating the extreme toll on her body and mind. This combination of relentless work, emotional strain, and lack of personal time ultimately drove her decision to step away, highlighting the often unseen human cost behind wrestling's spectacle. The return and the disillusionment. In 2022, WWE welcomed Rousey back with open arms, and her comeback was marked by a triumphant Royal Rumble victory. Expectations soared as she was positioned for another big WrestleMania moment. Title reign and major push. However, the magic from her first run didn't fully return. Fans noticed her promos lacked their former passion, and her on-screen presence seemed subdued. Behind the scenes, the chaotic WWE creative environment was a source of frustration. Unlike MMA, where preparation is meticulous and strategies clear, WWE's scripts were constantly changing, sometimes right before matches, making it difficult for someone like Rousey, trained to precision, to perform at her best. This turbulence eroded her enthusiasm and the spark that had once made her stand out. The disillusionment with the company's chaotic operations and creative inconsistency added to her growing dissatisfaction, foreshadowing her eventual second departure. Battling chaos and culture. Rousey's memoir, Our Fight, pulled no punches in exposing WWE's internal culture. She was highly critical of leadership figures like Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and Bruce Pritchard, accusing them of perpetuating sexism and reducing women to ornamental roles rather than serious athletes. Her insight revealed a troubling environment where women were often hired for looks over talent and where male writers lacked the sensitivity or knowledge to craft genuine female characters. Wrestlers were treated as disposable assets in a business driven by McMahon's empire, rather than as creative partners or respected professionals. This toxic culture not only stifled female performers' growth, but also alienated someone like Rousey, who came from a world where merit and toughness were paramount. Her willingness to speak openly about these issues shed light on systemic problems in WWE, emphasizing the need for cultural and structural change within the industry. Health battles and final departure. Underlying Rousey's final exit from wrestling were serious health concerns, particularly the cumulative effects of concussions sustained over years of judo, MMA, and wrestling. She concealed symptoms out of fear they would be exploited by opponents, but by 2024, the physical toll was undeniable, continuing risk permanent damage, and she chose to prioritize her long-term well-being over fame or financial incentives. This decision reflected a mature and courageous stance rarely seen in combat sports, where athletes often push through injuries at great cost. Rousey's choice to walk away for the sake of family, health, and dignity underscored the harsh realities behind the glamour of professional wrestling, emphasizing that even the strongest need to recognize their limits to protect their future. A door left slightly ajar. Though Rousey's departure felt definitive, she didn't completely close the door on wrestling. She expressed openness to returning in a smaller, controlled environment where rehearsals and trusted partners ensured safety and creative satisfaction, far removed from WWE's chaotic system. This nuance shows that her love for wrestling itself remained intact, but her frustrations with the business side were too great to ignore. Her willingness to consider alternative venues signals hope for a different kind of wrestling experience, one more respectful of performers' needs. For now, her legacy stands firm, but this open door hints at the possibility of future chapters on her own terms. Legacy of triumph and fracture. Rousey's career is a story of groundbreaking success shadowed by profound challenges. She transformed women's wrestling, drawing mainstream attention and proving that female athletes could be top draws. Yet her repeated departures revealed deep flaws within WWE, a punishing travel schedule, disorganized creative processes, and a toxic culture that undervalued women. She left not because she lacked strength, but because she had already proven her worth and refused to sacrifice her health and values for a system that didn't fully respect her. Her story is both inspiring and cautionary, a testament to breaking barriers and a reminder of the work still needed to create a healthier, more equitable wrestling world.